Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat Ashtaprayesu Avadresu Nitam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamaśloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistaki Akankarti Vachalam Pankangayate Girim Shaktipatamaham Bande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Paramanandamamadhavam. So we are going to do our regular Puspanjali. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Ghenanjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutalem Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Padantikam Vandeyam Sri Guru Sri Jutabada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanitam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Agana Lalita Sri Vishakasita Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Himate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Pancha Kalpataru Vesha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namo Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. His mother, somebody going to leave. Mother Palika Pavuni Devidasi is here.
Yes, Prabhu, I'm here.
Hare Krishna, Mother. Will you be able to gather some devotees to read?
For sure, Prabhu, for sure.
Okay. So we're going to start from text 12 all the way to 20, and then we'll discuss. I'm sorry, yesterday our class went almost 4 hours. It should be stop at 2 hours. But it was a very interesting, many points came out by the mercy of Guru Krishna that Prabhupada reminded to discuss about a few key points that something we can examine within ourselves, whether devotion the Sahajiya has in comparison to Mayavadi, are they better off or less? then maybe our attitude will change. Even if there is a neophyte bhakta or sahaja mentality, we will not be offensive. So that was very good outcome. And I'm sure we all got benefited, whoever were present, that there are 4 categories of people with respect to their relationship with matter and Krishna. And one was the materialists are detached from Krishna and attached to matter. Mayavadis are detached from matter, but they are detached from Krishna also. So that's the worst. Sahajiyas, they're attached to Krishna, but they're attached to matter also. So that's a better than Mayavadi, but less than good devotee. And the devotees means they are attached to Krishna and detached from matter. So these are the 4 categories what we discuss, and we began from where we left, text 12. Whoever is ready to read, please go.
I'm reading 12th.
Yes, bro.
Shreya hi jnanam abhyasaj jnana dhyana vishishyate dhyanat karma phalastyagas tyagas shantiranantaram. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation. And better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. Purport. As mentioned in the previous verse, there are 2 kinds of devotional service: the way of regulative principles and the way of full attachment in love to supreme personality of Godhead. For those who are actually not able to follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, it is better to cultivate knowledge, because by knowledge, one can be able to understand his real position. Gradually, knowledge will develop to the point of meditation. By meditation, one can be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by a gradual process. There are processes which make one understand that one himself is the Supreme, and that sort of meditation is perfect if one is unable to engage in devotional service. If one is not able to meditate in such a way, then there are prescribed duties as enjoined in the Vedic literature. For the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras, which we shall find in the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, but in all cases, one should give up the result of fruits of labor. This means to employ the result of karma for some good cause. In summary, to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the highest goal, there are 2 processes. One process is by gradual development, and other process is direct. Devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the direct method. Another method involves renouncing the fruits of one's activity. Then one come to the stage of knowledge, then to the stage of meditation, then to the stage of understanding super soul, and then to the stage of Supreme Personality of Godhead. One may take either a step-by-step process or by direct path. The direct process is not possible for everyone. Therefore, the indirect process is also good. It is, however, to be understood that the indirect process is not recommended for Arjuna because he is already at the stage of loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. It is for others who are not at this stage. And for them, the gradual process of renunciation, knowledge, meditation, and realization of the Supreme Super Soul and the Brahman should follow. But as far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, it is the direct method that is stressed. Everyone is advised to take the direct method and surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Very good. This is a single most complicated verse of Bhagavad Gita to me. Different Acharya has given different commentaries, and we can look into it, but if nobody has question, we'll just go to text 13. I'm going to escape from the comment because vast commentary. I made a lot of notes, not necessarily that everybody needs it, but if you have a doubt, we'll address that or we'll just go to text 13 to 20.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can we discuss? Because ultimately your lecture is very nectarian. That is what is going to be benefited.
Or maybe from 13 to 20 we can finish and come back.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Because this can take like a whole hour. I don't know. I just don't want to miss
Okay,
any
we can
text
come back.
today. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Hare
Text
Krishna,
13.
text, Hare Krishna, text number 13, 14. Advesta sarvabhutana maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankara samadukha sukhachami santuष्टः सततं योगी यातात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मयि अर्पिता मनोबुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः समे प्रियः. And the translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhayacharna Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. One who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. And purport by His Divine Grace of Acharya Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Coming again to the point of pure devotional service, the Lord is describing the transcendental qualifications of a pure devotee in these two verses. A pure devotee is never disturbed in any circumstances, nor is he envious of anyone, nor does a devotee become his enemy's enemy. He thinks, this person is acting as my enemy due to my own past misdeeds. So it is better to suffer than to protest. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.8 is stated, Tatte anukampam su samiksha mano bhunjana evatam kritam vipakam. Whenever a devotee is in distress or has fallen into difficulty, he thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. He thinks, thanks to my past misdeeds, I should refer far, far greater than I am suffering now. So it is by the mercy of the Supreme Lord that I am not getting all the punishment I am due. I am just getting a little by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, it is always calm, quiet, and patient despite many distressful conditions. A devotee is also always kind to everyone, even to his enemy. Nirmama means that a devotee does not attach such much importance to the pains and trouble pertaining to the body, because he knows perfectly well that he is not the material body. He does not identify the body. He does not identify with the body. Therefore, he is freed from the conception of false ego and is equipped in happiness and distress. He is tolerant. He is satisfied with whatever comes by the grace of Supreme Lord. He does not endeavor much to achieve something with great difficulty. Therefore, he is always joyful. He is completely perfect mystic because he is fixed in the instructions received from the spiritual master, and because his senses are controlled, he is determined. he is not stayed by the false arguments, because no one can lead him from the fixed determination of the devotional service. He is fully conscious that Krishna is eternal Lord, so no one can disturb him. Always these qualifications enable him fix his mind and intelligence eternally on the Supreme Lord. Such a standard of devotional service is undoubtedly very rare, but a devotee becomes situated in that stage by following the regulative principles of devotional service. Furthermore, the Lord said that such a devotee is very dear to him, for the Lord is always pleased with all his activities in full Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Ramshan Prabhu and everyone, I request you, I think I did probably, maybe I did not, I don't remember. Everybody must remember this verse. This, one of these two verses. One verse is this 10.14.8 Bhagavatam. Whenever you have a trouble in life, your mind is disturbed, or you're not feeling happy because something happened, or somebody ignoring you, insulting you, or something happened, challenges your disturbed mind, please consult that verse. I noticed Prabhupada put that verse almost everywhere, and then one time he says, all of you must remember, keep this verse as a necklace on your throat. You know, necklace on throat? Well, most of the men probably don't wear necklace, so you may not know. Well, you have a neck beads, so you do. Mothers, they will know. Necklace, you keep it always on your neck. Whenever you need it, you can look at it. This verse, you must memorize and chew it like a candy. Tatte anukampa susamikshmano bhunjane vatma kritam vipakam ridvakavo vidadan namaste jiveta jumukti padeshodayavak. Why Prabhupada says we should keep it always at our throat, that anytime we need to chew it, relish it, because the journey that we have taken, ultimate end is the best. There is no higher goal than this journey, Bhakti path. But while we are passing through, we will be getting hurt. So like a first aid box in America, they have, like whenever you got bruises or scratch or somewhere, you put some first aid, you know, like some kind of balm or something to, not that pain will disappear immediately, but it will eventually go away, or it will give you some relief. This verse will definitely give you relief. Why you're going through some trouble in your life, this verse explains. Even though after 13th chapter on 10th canto, Prabhupada did not translate personally, his follower did. But that translation, that purport, it's from Prabhupada, from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada loved that verse, and he wanted all of us to remember, memorize this always in our thought. So this is very good. Now, let's see little discussion on this. The word Priya, Adesta Sarva Bhutani Maitra Karuna Evacha. No? Adesta. So this verse is actually talking about a quality that endear. Krishna likes those quality in each of us. So you can examine right now while Ramshan Prabhu was reading, and the next few verses will be reading all the way 20. See if you have some of this quality. May not be mature, maybe seed form. Maybe seed form, I mean, when I say seed form means you like to have that quality in you. That is good. If you like that quality in you, that is good. Means it is seed form and you have to plant it, it will grow. Why? Because Krishna loves those quality in you. Even if you are, well, I'm just kidding. Now, I'm just telling you the truth. I was asking Radhanath Maharaj one time, Maharaj, can I ask you a serious question? I really want you to give me a direct indication. And Sripad Radhanath Swami said, yes. I said, how did you develop such a good humility? He said, Pran Govind Prabhu, you won't believe me if I tell you. I said, yes, I will believe you. Tell me. He said, I was pretending for a long time and it became natural. I said, I have a doubt that you are pretending. He said, see, I told you. I said, no. So what should I do? I don't have this humility that attracts Krishna. But I started also pretending. And I see a lot of good things coming out from this pretending. But it comes. Not the idea in America, they say fake to make it, you can keep on faking until you make it or something like that. But I'm not saying that way. Even those good quality, humility, if you pretend, is good. Because that's natural for the pure soul. So, these are the qualities that endear. The word endear means Krishna likes those qualities in each of us. All of you in the Zoom participant, I'm requesting, begging you, you want to, it is very hard to attract Krishna. But can you do something that will attract Krishna to you instead of you getting attracted? It's difficult. But if we have those qualities, it will attract Krishna. So this is very important. Let's see how the bars, if we can break it. The word Priya will be common in most of the verses. The Priya that will follow in this session. Devotees who will possess these qualities will rendering devotional service. And Krishna says, is very dear to me. So try to understand, break it down. If you have this quality, no, I would not say that. I say when you have this quality, it's not a choice. You have to have this quality because this is such a beautiful quality. And each of us has the ability to develop that. Unless you already have it. And guess what? Krishna loves those qualities. And then Krishna will call each of you is very dear to me or she is very dear to me. That is necessary. So earlier also Krishna said in many verses that he loves his devotees. Love also have many levels. Mother loves the baby, but will not trust the baby if baby has knife in his hand. Can you understand that example? What mother will do? Mother will take knife away from baby's hand. Because the baby does not have understanding of how to use knife properly. But the same baby, when grown to an elderly daughter or a son, she can use knife properly. Yes or no? Yes. So earlier, it was just love. Now the love is there with trust. Can you understand that? Mother loves the baby, but did not trust the baby with the knife. But when the baby grown up, mother had a love and still have a love, but she also trusts the baby. I mean, not baby, she's a grown-up girl. So love can be at multiple levels. Now Krishna spoke that even those who are sinful, I will protect them. You know, I love these verses because I have a lot of sinful nature sometimes, and I feel bad about it, but I try to eventually purify it. But knowing that Krishna will protect, it's such a relief for me. Do you feel if you have that kind of mood, then you will see Krishna's hand in your life all the time. Krishna said to Arjuna, you declare, Name Bhakta Pranashyati, that they will be protected. My devotees will never perish. One time Prabhupada in a walk, he expressed that. He said, why did Krishna wanted Arjuna to say it? Because Krishna may break, but he will never break Arjuna's promise that he will always protect the devotees. That is expression of his love. He certainly loves all living beings. As we discussed earlier, that Krishna is not partial. You remember in 9th chapter? Samaham sarva bhuteshu na deshusti name priya. He used the same word, priya. You see, the same word is also here, all these verses here.
Prabhuji?
Krishna is not partial, but he is reciprocal.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes.
I'm not sure I understood the metaphor you said about the mother loving the child but not trusting the child with the knife, but later trust comes when the child is an adult. How does that relate to what we are talking about, Krishna?
We're coming.
So, okay, sorry.
In that example, in the beginning, Krishna loves us. Krishna always loves every living entity. But Krishna does not trust how we will lead our life. In our society, even some of the devotees, some of the leaders even sometimes did something not appropriate. Krishna wants us to develop those qualities that will make us mature. When we become mature, then Krishna will trust us. Love will still remain, but it will become more with the trust. It's a very nice question, Prabhu. So, as we discussed earlier that Krishna is not partial, but he's reciprocal. So naturally, those devotees who reciprocate with him more and more attracts his attention more and more. They get greater and greater place in Krishna's heart by their devotion. Anyone who is practicing devotional service is dear to Krishna. Also at the same time, if devotees have virtuous qualities, then that endears to Krishna all the more. In this section, you'll see Krishna is telling, is we should not just assume, or we cannot whitewash us just because we are devotees. You know, whitewashing means making somebody blame free. Bhakti is means of sustaining good qualities. When we act virtuously, we allow Krishna to act through us. When we are not acting virtuously, then we are blocking Krishna to act through us. The result of that is we suffer and others suffers. Everybody understand the word virtue? Like a grateful attitude. Gratitude is a divine virtue. You understand the word virtue? It's a quality that Vaishnava should have. Not should have, definitely. Every Vaishnava has. I give you an example. I was looking one time in a dictionary many years back. What does that mean? And then I tried this. For an example, you know the clothes, wool. Anybody wear any woolen chadar, woolen hat, or wool made of wool? Wool has a virtue, a quality that it will always give some insulation. So even if the wool clothes you soaked in water, but you put in a winter, I did that in winter, you put that wet wool next to you hanging, and you'll see the cold air does not come to you. You put a cotton cloth, you get cold. You put any other clothes. I practically exercised that. Tried this. But I put this woolen chadar as the wind are blowing, cold air, but no cold air was coming. Even though the chadar is wet, this is the quality the wool has, is unbelievable. Cotton and none of other materials has this. Only wool has. Similarly, a Vaishnava has to have this kind of great qualities, like grateful attitude. Grateful attitude is a divine virtue, without which no other virtue can develop. This is a very, very important. As we are growing in spiritually, it's not enough. You know, when strong wind comes, some of the big trees I saw in California fell. They grow so tall, big strong wind comes, they knock out. Why? Why they knock out?
They are not connected. They are not connected in
Their roots are not very deep.
under the ground.
Very good. They are okay, very good. So their roots are not going deeper, they're only going up.
Yeah.
Please remember this. In spiritual growth, don't just keep growing, also grow deeper in your understanding. You do good sadhana, you grow, but also go deeper in your realization. Then even a biggest, strongest challenge comes, you will not be knocked out. This is very important. So back to this, when we act virtuously, we allow Krishna to act through us, and he will. When we are not acting virtuously, then we are blocking Krishna to act through us. And the result of that is we suffer and others suffers. We should also strive to develop the good qualities. how we strive within the realm of we try to exhibit the good quality as much as possible. I would say sometimes you think, oh, how do I exhibit this? How do I develop this? Is it like some, okay, let's see how the verse says. Adhyastha sarva bhutanam. Such a person is non-envious friend of all living beings. Then Krishna says, Maitra Karuna Evacha, compassion and friendly. We are all children of Krishna. Maitra Karuna Evacha. Nirmamo Nirahankara. Krishna is talking about giving up material desire. And he said, Nirmamo Nirahankara. Are you familiar with this word? In 2nd chapter, you saw that in 70 and 71, same thing mentioned. Krishna again repeating. Someone is better than us, then what happened to us? We become envious. When someone is better than us, then envy comes to us. A devotee understands that no amount of material things can make us happy. Our happiness does not depend on what we have, but it depends on what we do with what we have. I'm going to repeat that. Our satisfaction, happiness, does not depend on what we have, but it depends on what we do with what we have. So as a devotee, we have tendency to possess. But a devotee understands that ultimate possession is Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in Bhajan Atmanivedana, Sarvasya Tomar Charane Sapiya. This verse, this song, I also sing sometime, I'm being honest to you. I love those surrender songs. They're such a nourishing to the heart. Beautiful way Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes. My dear Lord, I am yours. You are mine. What other wealth I want? This should be our mood. And each of us should think, I want that. That Krishna is mine, my Krishna, and I am his. What else I need? I don't need anything else. This is how devotee become free from the possessive mentality. Of course, if you use your logic, well, Prabhu, if I have Krishna, then I have everything. What more possession can be there? Yeah, you can also use that. But the feeling that you really want Krishna, not because what Krishna has. Is Krishna is the possessor of the 6 opulences incomplete, or he has the 6 opulences incomplete? He is the, like I have $1 million, but if you cut my body, you will not get even penny, because my body doesn't have any penny or dollar. My money is in the bank. So when we say Krishna is the possessor, what does that mean? Can somebody help me with that? When Krishna is the possessor of 6 opulences, what does that mean?
He himself is with the opulence. The opulence signifies him. He is complete. He also has it. It's also in him. So it's totally.
Very good. His body is the opulence. The entire creation, unlimited opulence is him, his body. There is non-difference. But if you cut my body, you will not get a penny, because my bank balance, my money is in the bank. I'm not the money. But in Krishna's case, Krishna is the opulence. He is the money. He is everything. Big difference. Okay, good. Good understanding. Then Krishna says, Nirmama Nirankara Samadukha Sukham Skami. How to become equipoised? Suppose if I have 5 crores or say 5 million, then adding of 5 rupees and losing 5 rupees, does it really matter? Not really much. Well, not at all, maybe. This 5 rupee represent material possession. Can you imagine like that? That 5 rupees gaining or losing is like a material possession. And 5 crores or 5 million is like Krishna. Then you can reconcile how important to have Krishna as your. So to the extent we don't have spiritual connection, to that extent, material ups and downs shakes us. Success will make us jubilant and failure will make us despondent. To the extent we have connection with Krishna and fulfillment with our connection to Krishna, to that extent, material things will not affect us. Everybody understand that point, right? Okay. Then Krishna says, Sama dukkha sukha. Sama dukkha sukha skami. Skami means forgiven. Skama, forgiveness. So even if someone offend a devotee says there is no big deal about it. We say like that sometimes. Santushta satatam yogi. Because a devotee delights his connection with Krishna, so he does not think too much about material things. Yogi, a devotee is striving for connection with Krishna through Bhakti Yoga. A devotee is always satisfied because he understands that ultimately he needs service and connection to Krishna. I don't need anything else. These things give satisfaction to life, so I don't worry about anything else. This kind of mood. Jayatma Vrira Nishchaya. That is self-control. Very nice. We should not think that all these comes easily and naturally. We may see an exalted devotee, very gentle, very humble, very tolerant. We may think that they are at such a high level, I can never attain that, therefore, let me stay where I am. Did any one of you felt like that? No?
Yes.
Thank you. I did. Oh, Prabhupada is such an exalted. I can never become like him. Can you answer? Can any one of you answer whether we should aspire to become advanced like Prabhupada or no?
Yes.
We should
Who's
follow.
saying yes?
We should follow his footsteps, but we cannot become like him. He is already given from Krishna.
Everybody agrees with Ramsam Prabhu? We cannot become like Prabhupada. We can follow his footsteps, that's all.
We should aspire
We should
to become
aspire
like them.
Indradumna Maharaj, Sripad Indradumna Maharaj is still alive with us. That's very nice. He's in Vrindavan, I heard. One time he was sitting in the front where Prabhupada is giving class in Paris, French. And after the class, he said, anyone has any question? A new bhakta joined yesterday. He raised his hand. He said, when can I become like you? I want to become like you. You have so much love for God. And all the sannyasi looked at him. How dare you ask such question to become like him? They're like giving him a dirty look. Not, I don't know how you say it. So he's a little quiet, but Prabhupada noticed. Prabhupada said, no, this is a genuine question. And then Prabhupada says, why am I traveling all over the world? For what? I want all of you to become like me. You have to become lover of Krishna. Otherwise, why am I working so hard to translate and traveling and preaching? I want all of you to become pure devotee, pure lover, just like me. Then everybody is like, wow, this is nice. I'm not saying we are imitating Prabhupada. We should follow. But idea is we want to become also lover of Krishna, like Prabhupada. Prabhupada wants us to become like that. So by his mercy, we can become a good lover of Krishna. We should aspire for that. We should not think like, all these, big devotees, we are useless. That's good. Imperfection, that I'm not perfect. I want to become perfect. That impetus is good. Everybody understand that, right? This is good. We should never think like I'm better than others. That's not good at all. And we should always think like I need to improve. That is also good. We should also examine, where am I? Even material talents require work. Similarly, spiritual qualities also we need to practice. When devotees went through, they had to struggle this life, previous life. Similarly, we have to struggle. Other than, we think like only Nitya Siddhas are the best devotee. We can never become like that. That discouragement should not be there. We should encourage each other. We devotee has one, how would I say, a common analogy. We always say, oh, Mataji, oh Prabhu, please give me mercy. What mercy you want? What mercy you want? When you ask, I do ask. Hardly I ever hear a good answer. Oh, I just need a mercy. I say, what mercy you need? When then a bunch of Indian successful businessmen ask Prabhupada, they really like pressuring him. You can see that in the video. Oh, Maharaj, Swamiji, please give us mercy. And they're pressuring, and then Prabhupada says at one point, do you want my mercy? Yes. Okay, I bless you that you lose all your material possession. Oh, they like, whoa. Maharaj, not what? You want mercy, or you want to tell me what kind of mercy you want? We want to be beggar, but we don't know what we are begging, we are looking for. Is there a good beggar? I think you should have a very precise, I want rice, dal, chapati because I'm hungry. Okay, that's good. But if somebody gives you hot dog, you'll say, I don't want that. Then why you are begging, not being precise? You should say, I'm only looking for this. So if you are a beggar, if you want to be really looking for mercy, be very precise. Developing good qualities require hard work. Mai arpata mano buddhi. This verse says, those who work like this, offer their mind and intelligence, they are topmost devotees. Jo mad bhakta same priya. And in the purport, Ramshankar Prabhu just read, nor does a devotee become his enemy. He thinks this person is acting as my enemy due to my past misdeed. Did we try this every time? Somebody not happy or did insult to me or something? Very difficult. First thing, mind will trick you. No, it's wrong. Why they're saying I'm a bad? No, they are wrong. But Prabhupada says in the purport, we should apply this philosophy in our life. That will push us to become a good devotee. Prabhupada also says, all these qualifications enable us to fix our mind and intelligence entirely on Sri Krishna. So the extent someone is adhesta, maitraya, maitra, karuna, nirmamo, nirhankara. See how many quality? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, etc. To that extent, he will be able to do maya arpita mano buddhi. So how much you can absorb in Krishna, how much you have those qualities. Everybody understand now? You have to have this quality in order to absorb in Krishna. You cannot say, well, I cannot absorb in Krishna, because you have those absence of those quality that we just discussed. Adhesta, Maitra, Karuna, Nirmama, Nirahankar. Krishna is such a lovely teacher that he is giving us the clue that you want to absorb in me, but you have to have those quality to absorb. And one who does like that, such a person very dear to me, Krishna says. So I'm going to give a little tips, what I understand from this. That connection comes, please remember this, connection comes best by a combination of commitment and contentment. Connection with God or Krishna comes best by a combination of commitment and contentment. Both has to come from you. So if we wish to develop a relationship with someone, generally in this world, we need both commitment and contentment, isn't it? Come on, you all have a relationship with someone, your family or friend or someone. Commitment means we persevere in that relationship. If you really want to be a friend of someone and that person did not text you or don't call, would you not call and text, how are you okay? Something like that. Sure, if you want that relation. Similarly, we want to develop relationship with Krishna, then you have to persevere without getting swayed by our fickle feelings. Oh, he didn't call me, I won't call him. She didn't call me, I won't call. This is like a little moody child. This is not a genuine, mature relationship. Undoubtedly, feelings are important in any relationship. But if they are a relationship soul basis, then the connection between the two people cannot be steady or sustainable. I hope you agree with that. Contentment is essential in relationship. Why? Because none of us is perfect. Unless your mind dictates you are the best. Perfect. We need to tolerate others' shortcomings. Rather than harping on their bad side, perceived or actual, if we learn to look at their good side, I'm sure you do this. I hope you do this. Look at any devotee you have a problem, I do. Recently I noticed that, and it works. Try to see the good side. Anybody knows Giriraj Swami in this? I'm sure some of you know. Giriraj Maharaj had some kind of a sickness. The mucus was not going away. He told me that story. And it was going away and coming back. Going away for a month, 3 months or something like that. I forgot exactly, few months. Then Maharaj went in South Africa, one Ayurvedic doctor, naturopathic or Ayurvedic doctor. And in the reception, they had two different kind of reception. One is like a Rajagun reception and Sattvagun reception. Sattvagun reception is like you can imagine, like a little fountain, beautiful music, flute or something very nice. You can sit down like a heaven. You know, the Christian world, they draw heaven is like a lady with a white cloth. There is no other color, it's only white, like a little peaceful, like something like that. And then there's a Rajagun, they literally have on the other side, it's like a red flower, little disco music, like something light flashing. It's like a little dramatic. So of course Maharaj didn't even think. Maharaj just went to that reception of Sattvagun. And he was sitting there, and some or other, the time he was passing there, 45 years back, something happened to him. It just came up, surfing in his mind, and he felt disturbed. There was some devotee who was harassing with the book distribution, because Maharaj was not like aggressive or book distributor. So he would like harass him. And the Maharaj was not feeling well with him, and he was kind of forgot. In our life, many things we forget, but they're not gone. Sorry to say that. It will come back when you more advance. I give you a warning, maybe hope you don't face it. This is from Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. I experienced this. Sometimes we ignore little, we are hurting different devotees in our journey. When we become very advanced, those little thorn that we hurted the devotees, they come as like a balloon in front of you. And you feel like, why now? When I'm at a mature stage, why those little problems becoming big now? You may feel like, I wish I would be dead and start new life in devotee life with a fresh, no blemishes. The word blemishes means surfing, bad name, bad, you hated someone, you really told somebody, I don't care, you go ahead to hell or something. You don't say it, but those things, Prabhus and mothers, be careful. They will come and hunt you. It's better you let go before you face a bigger trouble. Because we want to advance, and they do come back if we did not resolve or dissolve. Either way, either resolve or dissolve. So Maharaj was sitting, and it disturbed his mind so much. Then finally he came to the doctor. Okay, doctor wants to see you. Okay. There's a very nice naturopathic Ayurvedic doctor. He says, what is the problem, Maharaj? He says, the trouble of the heart. I have some mucus problem. It goes away, but it comes back after a week. And it's like a lingering. It doesn't let me go, like completely free. It's like a, Maharaj, are you holding some grudge against someone? He was like really shocked. That's how he said. Maharaj is such a pure devotee, soul. I love Maharaj. Maharaj was like a shock to hear that, because he was holding that grudge of that devotee 45 years back. So he said, he got out of the clinic, and then later on he called Radhanath Maharaj. He said, this is, I had a trouble with someone, one of God brother, and this. And then Radhanath Maharaj said, let's talk about it. What did he do? Well, he was aggressive, but he was distributing so many books for Prabhupada. So that's a very good. What else? Well, he was so enthusiastic. He was inspiring other devotees to distribute books and please Prabhupada. So they made a list of good things that devotee was doing. Now he was moody, he was pushy. Those are not discussion. Those are there, but it's not important. How he was pleasing Prabhupada is important. So then they focus on that, and Maharaj made a call and actually apologized, and he told him all these things. And believe or not, this sickness, physical sickness, disappear just like this. Like a balloon puffed up. So I'm not saying that this is everybody, every one of you will going to go through like this, But it scared me when I read Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's beautiful explanation our journey in Bhakti path. I cannot hurt anyone and think I'll be okay because I'm chanting Hare Krishna. No, no. They will be hunching back. But you know when they will hunch you back? When you are in a pinnacle, like a top. You are such a wonderful devotee. Everybody loves you, respect you, everything. You are like Maharaja ki jai, big. And those little things that you ignored, didn't care, humiliated them or tortured them, they come back as like a big block that you really have to push to move. And you'll feel so humiliated. Why Krishna does not do this when I did this when I was a nobody? Because you would not do it. You don't care. You do care when your heart is pure, but those things you did not pay attention or purify, they will come back. So I hope none of you have any of this problem, but I could relate when Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur says this, and I see that in my life, it's all coming back, little here, there, here, there. And of course, if you take shelter of the holy name and Nityananda Prabhu, your Guru, Prabhupada, eventually you will come out very nice. But those are like a little scar. Scar, after 40 years, still there. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur did one little mistake. He took the mango. You all know that story. He took the mango and he was going to eat without offering. He didn't even think. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, how can you do this? Without offering to God, you eating? That is not proper at all. He got so affected. Srila Prabhupada says that after 50 years, when they referred to him about honoring a mango, he said, no, I cannot eat mango. I committed offense. So we don't forget, but we forgive. Everybody understand this? You forgive yourself, but you don't forget what I would not say you, what I did, ignored a devotee or kicked out or criticized or something. We should not forget that these are actually dangers in my life. But we should forgive to that devotee, also forgive myself. Also ask forgiveness from that devotee if I did to him. Some or other we have to resolve. Okay, we are going to end here. So contentment is essential in relationship because none of us is perfect. So what we should do, as I mentioned, we need to tolerate others' shortcomings rather than harping on their bad side. We start looking elsewhere for reciprocation if we do not find in our proper, in other words, if we learn to look at each devotee's good side, I mean, whoever is in your life, we can feel satisfied, isn't it? If either commitment or contentment is lacking in relationship, my relationship with the devotees that I'm surrounded, then the connection slackens. And we start looking elsewhere for reciprocation. Did anytime anybody experience that? I'm sure you did. You may not reflect or you may not want to say it. In worldly relationship, despite our best efforts, we may sometimes not get reciprocation. Why? Because we all have different nature. We may lead to irradical incompatibility. But thankfully, such incompatibility does not mar our relationship with Krishna. This is the best part. In our essential spiritual nature, each of us, all of us, is our greatest no, each of us or all of us always compatible with him because we are his eternal parts. He is our greatest well-wisher, Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. Our relationship with him has the potential to be supremely fulfilling. Now you may wonder, like, how do we access that fulfillment? This is the verse. Please read it again later, 12.14 that we just read. What Krishna is recommending here, that we be determined while practicing Krishna consciousness. This implies that we stay committed to our devotional practice, even if we don't feel like doing them. Everybody understand that point? This is very important. Significantly, the same verse also urges us to be content. So contentment means we stay satisfied with whatever spiritual taste we achieve by your practices. Even this morning I was thinking, I could be dead tomorrow, but today I am engaged. Krishna gave me this opportunity to discuss about his teachings and respect the devotees. Should I be happy or should I only looking forward for future? I should be happy. I should be thankful to Krishna now. So as each of you should be thankful that you're hearing about Krishna, his relationship. Can you feel some satisfaction that at least you are given a chance to think or be appreciative like this? You will advance very quick. This is the significance of this verse. The same verse also urges to be content. It is important to remember. So contentment means that we stay satisfied with whatever spiritual taste we achieve by our practices without demanding constant ecstasy, because mind will trigger you. It is also means we stay satisfied with whatever material things we achieve while doing our worldly duties in a mood of devotion, without being distracted by mundane cravings. Of course, it depends on your friends who you associate with in your life at this moment. So the conclusion is, by such combination of two things, who remembers? Commitment, one, another is contentment. Very good. So this is very important. So combination of commitment and contentment, our connection with Krishna blossoms to blissful absorption in him. Text 15.
Prabhuji, just want to tell about that. You asked that question like, does it give satisfaction by hearing this about this Krishna Katha, what you are saying now? So Prabhuji, it's like kind of we are swimming in this nectar, how you are saying, like it's kind of, we are going on the flow. So we cannot say in the word what kind of flow it is. It's a nectar of flow. So, we are thinking like we are keep going on that. So that's the answer of that question. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. You are merciful to me and to all of us. Text 15, Mother Palika.
Guruji, I have a question.
Okay.
Should I ask now?
Or we can, I want to finish the reading because I'm looking at the clock. I'm already late. Like, is that okay? Just we go all the way to the 20 and then come back.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Yasman no dvijate loko, lokan no dvijate chaya. Harsamasha Bhayot Vegair Mukto Yasa Chame Priya. He by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. But a few of the devotee's qualifications are further being described. No one is put into difficulty, anxiety, fearfulness, or dissatisfaction by such a devotee. Since a devotee is kind to everyone, he does not act in such a way as to put others into anxiety. At the same time, if others try to put a devotee into anxiety, he is not disturbed. It is by the grace of the Lord that he is so practiced that he is not disturbed by any outward disturbance. Actually, because a devotee is always engrossed in Krishna consciousness and engaged in devotional service, such material circumstances cannot move him. Generally, a materialistic person becomes very happy when there is something for his sense gratification and his body, but when he sees that others have something for their sense gratification and he hasn't, he is sorry and envious. When he is expecting some retaliation from an enemy, he is in a state of fear. And when he cannot successfully execute something, he becomes dejected. A devotee who is always transcendental to all these disturbances is very dear to Krishna. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
These verses are such a beautiful. Each verse says, "Dear to me." Krishna is explaining. Just just a thought. I heard or somebody told me. I don't remember. Like if you want to please someone, you wonder like how to please that person. But if that person comes and tells you, "Hey, can you give me this? I'll be very happy." How easy that becomes. So we all want to please Krishna. Krishna is saying, please develop this quality. You will attract me. I will be in love with you if you have this quality, because it's endearing. So this verse is also another verse, very sweet. Jasman na udvijayate loka, by whom people are not disturbed. Lokan na dijate cha ja. And who is not disturbed by people? The question is, by whom people are not disturbed, and then who is not disturbed by people? Then Krishna says, Harsha, Marsha, Bhaya, Bhege. Harsha means happiness, Harsha. Amarsha is distress. Bhaya is fear. Udbeg is anxiety. So what are these we are talking? What Krishna is talking about? Emotion. I found 3 is the most, I would say, powerful emotion. And Bhagavatam is full of this. The whole Bhagavatam is nothing a play game of emotion. And it teaches us actually, it nourishes our heart when you hear Bhagavatam. And out of 3, anyone has any idea what are the 3 most dominating emotion, I could say? Anyone has any idea?
Enviousness.
On the spiritual level or on the material level?
It doesn't matter. Material, spiritual, this exists.
Enviousness. Envious that someone else is having and I'm not having.
Roji,
Little more than envy is hate.
Okay.
Yeah. Hate.
Okay. And other 2, I mean, all these emotions. Okay,
Love is
this
also there, prominent.
What is it?
Love is also very prominent.
Love is a good emotion, but is not as strong. Conscious hating Krishna is so powerful, is unbelievable. Even Narad Muni, who has a love for Krishna, he's thinking, how can I get conscious mood? The way Kongso hate Krishna, of course, we are not developed. I'm not promoting that. But he was like Unbelievable. Kongso is seeing his own shadow. He says, here you are, I'm ready to kill you. He pulled out the sword. His minister, Keshi, said, O king, that's your shadow, it's not Krishna. Oh, can you imagine that you cannot recognize your own shadow? You think that this is unbelievable. How heavy that emotion, hate. Okay. Here Krishna says, Harsha, happiness, Amarsha is distress, boy, fear. Fear is another one. Very powerful emotion. Udbeg is anxiety. These are the emotions that agitate what? The mind. It agitates our mind. If you really think about this, you will see your life is going like this. You are involved in it. Krishna is talking about your life, each of our life. It is not like philosophy in the sky and I'm on the ground. There is no connection. No. Krishna is talking about our life. Krishna wants us to focus on the good side. Say, build up those, develop those, forget the rest. They will disappear. Devotees does not allow such thing to come between himself and Krishna. Anything will agitate the mind, devotee doesn't want. Now Krishna says, Mukta jasa chame priya. A person who is mukta from those above quality, they are above, from above. So we may wonder, how does a devotee does not become agitated by anyone? Well, ask yourself, you're a devotee. Sometimes we agitate people in a preaching. It is not that we should not preach, we should have proper indentation or proper execution. A competent surgeon does surgery. He does not want it to give pain, but he wanted to heal. But in the process, patient gets pain. Can you relate that? Yes. Jasman na dijate loko. So a devotee also don't want it to give pain to anyone, but as an instrument in the hand of Lord. And when sometimes feedback is required to be given for betterment and correction, a devotee can do so, but the intention is not to harm. He does so without any enviousness. Next verse 16. Mother Palika.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, okay. Lakshay.
Anapeksha shuchirdaksha udasino gata vyatha sarvarambha parityagi yo madbhakta same priya. Translation: My devotee, who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all the pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. Purport: Money may be offered to a devotee, but he should not struggle to acquire it. If, automatically, by the grace of the Supreme, money comes to him, he is not agitated. Naturally, a devotee takes a bath at least twice in a day and rise early in the morning for devotional service. Thus, he is naturally clean, both inwardly and outwardly. A devotee is always expert because he fully knows the essence of all activities of life, and he is convinced of the authoritative scriptures. A devotee never takes the part of a particular party. Therefore, he is carefree. He is never pained because he is free from all the designations. He knows that his body is a designation. So, if there are some bodily pains, he is free. The pure devotee does not endeavor for anything which is against the principles of devotional service. For example, constructing a big building requires great energy, and a devotee does not take to such business if it does not benefit him by advancing his devotional service. He may construct a temple for the Lord, and for that he may take all kinds of anxiety, but he does not construct a big house for his personal relations. Hare Krishna.
Very good. I'm going to just give you a little practical understanding also. I won't say the name of one sannyasi. It's a very nice sannyasi, dedicated Western body. He passed away. Anyway, so Prabhupada told him he should look after the construction of the temple, guest house and gurukuls. And so he thought, well, I'm a sannyasi, I should be reading more books and chanting, do spiritual activity, not construction. He could not put construction as a part of his ashram. Is that okay? Is that understanding okay or not okay?
Not okay.
Who said not okay? Gautam Prabhu?
I-
Okay.
Yes,
Why it is not okay?
everything and anything and everything in service to Krishna is including in devotional service, and Guru is saying then we have to follow.
So can you apply to that sannyasi? Can you tell, if he was your best friend, what would you tell him? Not the principle, just give him the actual what he should do.
After constructing a temple or building, we can preach better. That's why Prabhupada is insisting to build a building or a temple or some gurukul.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. I tell you why. I'll be back, mother. Hold on. I'll tell you why. Because after Prabhupada left, he actually fell down. And he got remarried. And guess what he did for 20 years? How he survived in his family life? Construction. Because he was an architect from the Western world. He came to visit India, Bombay, and he became devotee just by hearing about Prabhupada. It was a very miracle, like how he became devotee. He was a famous architect. Anyway, you're probably figuring out his name. But anyway, that's problem is that interesting point. I learned a big lesson from it. So I was talking to another senior sannyasi, Jayadutta Maharaj. He's here, he lives here now. And the idea is, and same Maharaj came to conclusion that when Prabhupada told him to look after the construction, if he was busy there, the impression that he has in future fall down and earn money from construction would disappear from his heart. He never had to go down. So be very careful. When you hear instruction from your guru, do not judge. They know in a different level something you really need, but you cannot see it. So if that Maharaj would stick to supervising the construction, following Guru's instruction on that basis, as Gautam Prabhu said, and he would practice on his spiritual, practice whatever he could, and then when construction is over, he could dive into more study and chanting. Then this detour, fell down, earn money from a construction, that impression that was there in the heart. You are not going to see in your life something is not in your heart. Everything that we are experiencing in future, now and future, is in a micro form in the heart, will manifest in a macro form outside. This is called praktan sanskar. That you carrying life after life. In this life, you're going to experience something. Future life is dissolved. Krishna already destroyed this by the time he took initiation and you're studying and chanting. Future life. But this life, how you take it, you may come back again few more life if you react instead of tolerating. So it is necessary everybody to understand. Yes, Mother Aditi Lota, you had some question? Otherwise.
Yes, Prabhuji. So one time before, if you remember, I asked this question, then you said that, well, I'm not talking about this one which we were discussing now, because this Prabhupada instructed him. So that's a different story. But if someone is, having that propensity of doing business, So, and he has joined as a sannyasi or in a full time as a devotee, then that person, you also said, I think in another lecture I heard, then that person, a sannyasi, should not do that work, should give that work to someone else, and he should not be entangled in that varnashram thing. So in this scenario, what is written in the book, that is actually contradicting that. Can you please clarify?
Very, very good, thoughtful question. Thank you. I hope everybody understood her question. This is a very nice key point. Key point is that if I have a tendency to make money, but I took sannyas, and maybe in, every temple, Hare Krishna temple is a famous place. They always need money. They always need help. It's like there will be never a chance that they don't need. They always need. It's like forever. That's how the temples are. Spiritual hub, I would say. As a sannyasi, I should not go outside and open a business or something to earn money. That is forbidden. But to run a Krishna conscious business through someone and give him advice, because I have that, I would say, profit loss calculation very much impacted in the heart, then through that devotee, through that grihastha, sannyasi should not run the business, but through that grihastha, by advising him, you can actually purify your heart. You should not ignore it. If you have a good knowledge, just like Arjuna, he pleased Krishna just by killing others. That is devotion. So similarly, but ashram, sannyasi ashram is not for business, it's for Vaishya. But sannyasi means they should be above all the ashram. If sannyasi does not know how to clean the toilet, he is not a good sannyasi at all. Prabhupada knew how to clean. He cleaned, he cooked, he did everything. Sannyasi means he should be expert everything, but his main job is to uplift the human, whoever is around him, or he goes and give them a way how they can be uplifted to Krishna consciousness. That should be their main purpose. But if they have some impression that they're carrying for so many lives, they should not ignore it. They should rather purify it. How to purify? That is a discussion. What kind of inclination they have. But nobody should ignore. If you have a deep emotional touch, attachment, some feeling inside, you have to purify. Don't ignore. Suppression is not Krishna consciousness. Replacing with higher taste is Krishna consciousness. 2.59 Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that. So that should be good enough. Is that okay, Mother?
Yes, the story which you were saying, Prabhuji, he was not a sannyasi, right?
He was a sannyasi.
So then Prabhupada, I mean, why did Prabhupada tell him to do something which will actually create more anxiety maybe in him? Because that's...
No, Prabhupada told him, because he was an architect before, and Prabhupada knew that he can help this temple to do this. Easily he can do that. Easily he could have done it. But because he deviated from Prabhupada's instruction, his old impression came back, but it pulled him down. So it's better he should have purified that. So we learned. We are not blaming him. He did a wonderful service to Prabhupada. Many, many temples he did design. So we respect him, and I'm sure his journey is going very well. Somewhere he is there. But we learn from this, that whatever impression we have, and if we get the order of Guru, then we should purify it right away.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, similar way, Sarvam Bhattacharya, when he met to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, So he said that you are sannyasi. Why you are on the street, on road, you are dancing, and this is not quality of sannyasi. You go and read the Shastra. I teach the Shastra. Come and read. I will teach you. So so there is no definition for that. Like what is the sannyasi means? Whatever the order is there, so that had to be followed. Orders without like. There is a 434 that is given. Tadvidi paripatena pariprasana sevaya dakshanti te jnanam jnana tatvadarshina. So whatever Guru has given, just to follow. So
that is true, but if you remember what I also mentioned, the prime duty for sannyas ashram. See, he's a person connected with Krishna, but he's also situated holding a post called ashram. So he has a two duty. One is spiritual duty with Krishna, another is ashram duty. So ashram duty Mahaprabhu did also. He did both. In ashram duty, he tricked actually. He allowed Sarvabhauma to teach him, but actually it was not a purpose of listen to Sarvabhauma, but was purpose to purify Sarvabhauma. But Sarvabhauma was so high estimation of teacher that he will not listen until he get attacked in his heart. When Mahaprabhu says that Tata Siddha Ved Satta Je Kai Lakshana Karile Veda Pramanna Hani Hai. Whatever you speaking, I'm listening. But when you utter the Veda, it's like a sunshine coming through the cloud. I feel very illuminated, happy. But as soon as you open your mouth to give the commentary, I feel like you creating a cloud to cover this. This is a great insult, actually, indirectly. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was shocked. He said, you have a better understanding? That, of course, I don't know, I'm thinking how to squeeze it to a one sentence, but it's very hard. It's a big dialogue. But in that case, you will see at the end what happened. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya hated himself when he heard the 18 explanation. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya gave 9 explanations on Atma Ramascha Munaya, Nirganta Api Urukrame, this verse, 9 explanation, Mahaprabhu says, nobody in this world can explain like you. You must be Brihaspati from demigod's place. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya understood, yes, I am Brihaspati. Then he begged Mahaprabhu to explain. Mahaprabhu explained double, 18 explanation. It takes 2-3 hours, beautiful explanation. And Mahaprabhu, when he started explaining, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was shocked. No human being or demigod can explain like this. He must be Supreme Brahman. How rude I was that I'm challenging him, that I'll teach him. He knows much better, much way higher than me. He must be Supreme Brahman. So he says, that's a beautiful verse. He says, Atmaninda kari kaila prabhura saran prabhutare kipa karivar dila darshan. Beautiful verse. This was the conclusion. Atmaninda. Can you criticize your own character? We can learn from this. I do this, I try to do. If I have a bad quality, I should think that why did I have this? Why it is so bad? Why? I pray. It is necessary that we criticize ourselves, not criticizing others. But make sure I'm giving you one little guideline. I'm not saying that you should keep on criticizing. If you're criticizing to your own bad character does not bring you close to Krishna, stop there. Because if you say, oh, I'm no good, I am bad, I'm depressed, I'm just worthless, and you don't feel like to chant, what are you doing? You putting yourself is important. I am bad, I am this, I am that. Arey Baba, you're talking about you. We're supposed to be humble to come to Krishna. If I'm bad, my quality is bad, I should take chanting, then it's good. But if I'm bad, I'm no good, I don't go to temple, I don't want to do anything, that is not good. So please remember, self-pity is not humility. It's dangerous. But Sarma Bhattacharya did humility. He criticized his own character and he fell at the Mahaprabhu's feet. Then Mahaprabhu gave him darshan, Sarabhu's darshan. So thank you, that's a good point. Okay, let's focus on this. Can you go to the next verse? Let me see this. I'll just very touchly, I made 2-3 points very quick. Suchir means clean, external and internal cleanliness. Daksha means expert. Krishna loves these qualities. That's why I love this. Devotee is expert in doing the allocated service to them, isn't? Yes, Krishna loves it. Next time you do your service, you think Krishna likes it. I'm chanting, I'm supposed to chant every day. Okay, Krishna likes it. Because Krishna says here, Daksha, expert on doing this. Udashina gata bettata. Udashina. A devotee is not attached to any material things. Now, I hope none of you, 41 participants, none of you have any attachment to material things. What does that mean? Means everything you using for Krishna or his devotees. Your family is a devotee. Can you link like this? So you have no material. Very good. So every time you think like this, oh, Krishna pleases Krishna, because Krishna says at the end of the verse, he says, what the word is used? Shame Priya, you are my dear. I want to be dear to Krishna. If I do this, I'll take care of my family. No, I'll take care of Krishna's family. Given under my maintenance, I'll maintain Krishna's family because it pleases Krishna. Can you look at it like this? Your wife, your husband is pleasing Krishna if you take care of them because Krishna sent them to you. How you behave with them if they come closer to Krishna. And if your behavior, your serving attitude actually take them away from Krishna, you're not doing a good job, Prabhus and mothers. I don't mean to judge you, but I'm fascinated about those verses, how Krishna is saying, if you do like this, it pleases me. You are very dear. Udasina, then Gata Betha, given up lamentation. Sarvaramba Parittegi, one who gives up desire for sense gratification. Jo Mad Bhakta Same Priya, such a person is very dear to me. This is all describing very qualities of a devotee. Srila Prabhupada's purport. He writes, a devotee never takes part of a particular party, therefore he is carefree. I like that. It's wonderful. They're only Krishna party, means no other party. Text 17, 18,
Yom
19.
na hrishti na dveshti na shojati na kamshati shubha shubha parityagi bhaktimanya same priyaha. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things. Such a devotee is very dear to me. Purport: a pure devotee is neither happy nor distressed over material gain and loss, nor is he very much anxious to get a son or disciple, nor is he distressed by not getting them. If he loses anything which is very dear to him, he does not lament. Similarly, if he does not get what he desires, he is not distressed. He is transcendental in the face of all kinds of auspicious, inauspicious, and sinful activities. He is prepared to accept all kinds of risks for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Nothing is an impediment in the discharge of his devotional service. Such a devotee is very dear to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Such a beautiful verse. Every verse is a Same Priya is my dear devotee. So let's see how we relate to this. Jono Rishyati Nadesti. Prabhu Nayar just read so nicely. Jono Rishyati Nadesti, one who does not delight, nor one who resent. What else? No Sochati, no Kangshati. So one does not hanker, one does not lament. Shubha, Ashubha, Parittegi. He gives the concept of auspicious, inauspicious. when we or anyone understand that there is nothing inauspicious, because one understands the temporary nature of this world, so Shubha and Ashubha ultimately both are undesirable. The undesirability is just a matter of degree. And the devotee stays away from the conception of good and bad. Whatever may happen, we can always find opportunity to serve Krishna in that situation. This is the key point. So Prabhupada put in the purport Prabhu just read, nothing is an impediment in the discharge of our devotional service. Such a devotee is very dear to Krishna. How to grasp this? I was thinking, like, in a practical level, we can see Krishna is the stabilizer of material emotion. We all have a material, I hope. Maybe some of you already liberated, you don't have. But when you can relate that Krishna is like a stabilizer of material emotion. At the same time, he is a stimulator of spiritual emotion. And we need both. Our emotionality is an innate feature of our very being. Is anyone here ever felt, I don't know, I'm chanting, but I feel like it's a superficial. I really don't feel any connection. Like, what's the difference? When I didn't chant, okay, next 2 days I won't chant. I hope you don't do that. But I did one time. I did really. Just, I'm not saying this is a good thing, but I did. 2 days I didn't chant. And I felt nothing difference. I say, how is possible? Chanting and not chanting. Why it should be same feeling? Because at the sensual level, this experience, chanting or not chanting, is same. If you go little down, subtle mental level, you may feel even worse. You feel like a dupliciousness. Like, you do things you don't feel like do. But your mom or dad told you, no, you have to do it. You just sit down and chant. I don't feel like to do it. Just do it. I don't feel like, just do it. I don't feel like, it's like, that's a mental level. Now you can see I was a baby also one time, I can relate. Then you go little down, soul level. When you chant at soul level, you feel innate longing for Krishna. This is reality. And each of us, I hope each of you already went to that level. When you come to that level, you say you cannot live without Krishna. And anybody is not chanting, their superficial life, you literally see it. But until you come to constitutional level, on mental level, you feel like those are chanting are superficial. I'm not saying you need to practice that to actually go through that. But at the constitutional level, you do feel you have an innate longing for Krishna. You really will cry sometime. So, though our emotionally comes from our core, our present emotion don't usually take us towards that core. Presently, our consciousness is channeled through the mind, to the body, the world without. As long as we are materially attached, most of our emotions are triggered by worldly things. And as the outer world, being filled with ever-changing material things, is characterized by flux. The emotions triggered but it often takes us on an emotional roller coaster. I don't know if anybody ever went. I went to Disneyland one time, many years back, 20 years back. It was a scary roller coaster. I really, as soon it took it to a really high peak and dropped, I felt like to get out as fast as possible. But two other children next to me, they're like enjoying like anything. I was thinking, what they're enjoying? I want to get out and they want to enjoy. What is this? I could not relate. And later on, I had to research about through the philosophy that I was very satisfied. Yes. Because when you are in a mental level, you care only mental stability, mental emotional satisfaction. But once you come to the constitutional stability, you feel like mental is a hallucination. People should get out as fast as possible. But you cannot force people to get out. They have to be willing to get out. So, to become emotionally stabilized, we need to connect with Krishna, the all-attractive source of everything. Whether you like a boy, girl, money, whatever, ice cream, it's all Krishna. But if you don't want Krishna, then Krishna's part become ice cream, Krishna's part become a boy, Krishna's part become a girl. But everything is actually Krishna. So as Krishna is the supreme unchanging principle, connecting with him acts as a shelter amidst life's inevitable storms. When we practice Bhakti Yoga, Krishna consciousness diligently, you know the word diligently is called Vivek Buddhi. Vivek Buddhi, not Vivekananda. Vivek Buddhi means, because I have a, anyway, that's a different story. Vivek Buddhi means you really scrutinize, you have a reason, you have a discriminating power, you have a logic. All this together is Vivek Buddhi. So, when we practice Krishna consciousness with Vivek Buddhi or diligently for connecting with Krishna, you have to, otherwise you will not last. After a few moments, you will forget Krishna. You have to have a diligent, like you really scrutinize why I want to love Krishna, why, what is there. You have to like go through like this in your mind. And you'll see like, oh my God, you're fixed with thinking about Krishna for half an hour without disturbance. If you don't use that diligently, after a few minutes, something else pops in your mind and you're gone. So we find an inner anchor when we connect with Krishna. And that helps us to stay calm amid situation that would otherwise toss our consciousness like a roller coaster, up and down. So significantly, I would say, however, though Krishna does stabilize our material emotions, that stability is far from the best that can offer us. As we are sentient being with sentiments, becoming stoic, unemotional stone is far from our perfect emotional state. That's why impersonalism is condemned, you know. And this verse is such a sweet. It states that equanimity amidst material dualities characterize those who are enriched with devotion. We are meant to relish the whole universe of spiritual emotion in relationship with all attractive Lord Krishna. And the more we become exposed to Krishna, through Krishna consciousness, through chanting, the more that exposure stimulates our latent spiritual emotional. And over time, you'll see, each of us will see, the Bhakti universe enriches us with the deepest, finest, sweetest emotions that the human heart can ever experience. Mother Palika You have someone to read the 18 and 19 together?
Prabhuji, 1 second. Prabhuji, before we proceed, so what here it mentions about he does not lament. What is the meaning of lament here? Because in materialistic life, lament means when someone loses something, they cries and they, they have that distress feeling is called lament. So lamentation was not discarded even by Krishna, as you have mentioned so many times. When Arjuna was lamenting for his son, Krishna was also lamenting for his nephew. So why is it saying he does not lament? What does it mean?
No, that example that you are saying, that example, I feel also sorry because I put Prabhu Jagannath Chandra Nair Prabhu. I didn't allow him to ask the question, and I'm like actually allowing. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I don't mean to ignoring that. But I'm also looking at 10:23, 11:23 here time. Okay, I'll come back for the lamentation. Let's finish this 3 more sloka and then come back.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Text 18 and 19. Sama shatrau cha mitre cha
Little louder.
Tatha manapamanayoho shitoshna sukhadukkeshu samasanga vivarjitaha tulyanindastutirmauni tantushto yena kenachit aniketa sthiramatir bhaktiman me priyo naraha. Translation: one who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge, and who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me. Purport: a devotee is always free from all bad association. Sometimes one is praised and sometimes one is defamed. That is the nature of human society. But a devotee is always transcendental to artificial fame and infamy, distress or happiness. He is very patient. He does not speak of anything but the topics about Krishna. Therefore, he is called silent. Silent does not mean that one should not speak. Silent means that one should not speak nonsense. One should speak only of essentials. And the most essential speech for the devotee is to speak for the sake of the Supreme Lord. A devotee is happy in all conditions. Sometimes he may get very palatable foodstuffs, sometimes not, but he is satisfied. Nor does he care for any residential facility. He may sometimes live underneath a tree, and he may sometimes live in a very palatial building. He is attracted to neither. He is called fixed because he is fixed in his determination and knowledge. We may find some repetition in the descriptions of the qualifications of a devotee, but this is just to emphasize the fact that a devotee must acquire all these qualifications. Without good qualifications, one cannot be a pure devotee. Hara vaktasya kuto mahad gunaha. One who is not a devotee has no good qualification. One who wants to be recognized as a devotee should develop the good qualifications. Of course, he does not extraneously endeavor to acquire these qualifications, but engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotional service automatically helps him develop them. Hare Krishna.
Very good. And we have one more verse. Somebody is ready before?
Yes, Prabhuji.
We have 3 minutes. So we are keeping track. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Ye tu dharm amritam idam yatha uktam paryupasate shadhana mat parma bhakta te ativ me priya. Translate Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. Purport. In this chapter, from verse 2 through the end, from my avesha mano ye mam, fixing the mind on me, through ye tu dharmatram idam, this religion of eternal engagement, the Supreme Lord has explained the processes of transcendental service for approaching Him. Such processes are very dear to the Lord, and He accepts a person engaged in them. The question of who is better, one who is engaged in the path of impersonal Brahman, or one who is engaged in the personal service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was raised by Arjun. And the Lord replied to him so explicitly that there is no doubt that devotional service to the personality of Godhead is the best of all processes of the spiritual realization. In other words, in this chapter, it is decided that through good association, one develops attachment for pure devotional service and thereby accepts a bona fide spiritual master, and from him begins to hear and chant and observe the regulative principles of devotional service with faith, attachment, and devotion, and thus becomes engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. This path is recommended in this chapter. Therefore, there is no doubt that devotional service is the only absolute path for self-realization. For the attainment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the impersonal conception of the Supreme Absolute Truth, as described in this chapter, is recommended only up to the time one surrenders himself for self-realization. In other words, as long as one does not have the chance to associate with a pure devotee, the impersonal conception may be beneficial. In the impersonal conception of the Absolute Truth, one works without fruitive result, meditate and cultivate knowledge to understand spirit and matter. This is necessary as long as is not in the association of a pure devotee. Fortunately, if one develops directly a desire to engage in Krishna consciousness in pure devotional service, he does not need to undergo step-by-step improvements in spiritual realization. Devotional service, as described in the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, is more congenial. One need not bother about materials to keep body and soul together, because by the grace of the Lord, everything is carried out automatically. Thus, and the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 12th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. So let's discuss just few points, but at least we finish. Oh, wow, this is exact time. Can you believe the class supposed to end at 11:30 of my time? And we exactly did it. Wow. Now, if some of you are really tight in your schedule, you have to go sleep on time to get up on time, you can go. You are done, but I'm going to give you little tips on your exam for this. Let's see, I noted somewhere. For this chapter, last chapter I discussed, but this chapter, let's see. Oh, is Mother Bangshidhari Mata is available, or she does not join? I send her something. Can you send to everybody? Everybody got a ladder, steps?
No, Prabhuji.
No, Prabhuji. But Mataji doesn't join the meeting. From IBM, they were joining initially, but nowadays you are the host.
Okay, I can send to someone and you can just send it. I don't know how to do it on my computer. I
Yeah,
can
you
WhatsApp somebody. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
So I can send it to Mother Aditya.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, you got it. If you can put it, this is just a self-exam. Where are you after this course in your spiritual path? And you don't have to tell me, but you can just look at yourself, where you are. Let's see. Did you get, Mother?
Yes, Prabhuji, I've sent a few of them. I'm sending it in this chat also.
Okay. So just to summarize, in the exam, what are you going to face from this chapter? I'm just going to give a little clue because I love you all and I hope everything goes well. But our goal was not, I mean, to me, it was not just to pass the exam, but to understand and apply this philosophy. So spiritually, you are enlivened is more important. So 1 to 7 text, there's a question we may come. Define and describe 2 classes of transcendentalists. I'm sure all of you know that. 2 types of transcendentalists. What are those? That
One is
impersonalist.
impersonalist.
Very good. Everybody heard it. Can you say it clearly one more time, Mother Palika?
One is personalist and the other is impersonalist.
Okay, but when you write it, maybe you explain little more. That's true. These are the like key point, but you give little more. Personalist means relationship. There's a lover, beloved like this, and impersonalist is like a no relationship, boring, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
The 2 question may come, cite evidence from the previous chapter to support that one should be attached to the personal form. You may get, you may not get. I'm not saying you will get all these questions, but you may get. So prepare that. 3rd question may say, explain the process of impersonal realization. I mentioned to you 4 things they do. It's not like we do sadhana, they don't do anything. No, they have also sadhana. Then question may come, explain the analogy of the mailbox. Anybody remember the mailbox?
Yeah.
Yeah, as it is.
Can you explain, give little?
As it is, Prabhuji, means whatever comes from Krishna, so just one by one, it will come to from our Acharya to us. So there is no manipulation. As a postman takes the letter, and whatever it comes to him, it as it is, he delivers to the doorstep to the recipient.
It has to be
No.
attached.
There is no
It has
That's
to be
correct.
attached to
What
the
you're saying is
parampara.
correct, but this is a difference analogy.
This is
Prabhu, it's
Prabhuji,
in text 5th
this
actually.
has to be attached
One
to the
second, one
parampara.
second. Mother Priyanka, she wants to desperately speak it. Go ahead, please.
Sorry, Prabhu. It's in text 5, Prabhu, in the purport. Like, we may find some mailboxes on the street, and if we post our letter in those boxes, then they will naturally go to their destination without difficulty. So Prabhupada is giving here this example regarding the authorized representation of the deity form of worshipping the Arch Vigraha. And that's what I understood, Prabhu, from this.
Very good. So when you offer something to the deity, actually Krishna takes it, because it is authorized form. Very good. So you will get that question. So you please write it as you understood. Another question may
Pran
come.
Govind Prabhu, what is the answer to this impersonally? What is the process? I mean, the process that is mentioned is rendering service to everyone.
One second. One second. Why there is so much noise?
From my side.
Can everybody keep mute, please? Only the person speaking, Nirguna Prabhu, can speak. Okay, thank you.
Is it the answer for the process of impersonal is that they render, like this thing that is mentioned in the purport, that they render service and they control the senses and they're equal to everyone? That's the process that is mentioned? Or
What you are asking, say it like slowly a little bit. I have a hearing problem, sorry.
the answer to the 3rd question about the impersonal is the process of achieving the enlightenment or whatever it was for the impersonal. The 3rd question that you mentioned.
Yes.
Prabhu,
Answer to it, it's already there in the sloka. I broke down one time. I mentioned that they do 4 things. You remember that? Anybody remembers the 4 things they do?
So it's in the shloka, like they equal to everyone and controlling the senses.
They follow rules, regulation. 1. 2, they tries to see everybody equal, vision. And they control their senses. 3. And fourth one was?
Engaging in welfare of all.
Very good.
Okay, so I understand. So I understand.
So 4 things they do, but you have to write it.
Yes.
I mean, question
No,
may come to that.
I wanted to know if I'm in the right direction.
Tell me, you tell me, please. 1, they follow very strict rules and regulations. 2, they control their senses. 3, they try to have an equal vision to everyone and everything. And 4, they always well-wishing for others. Is that okay, Nirguna Prabhu?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the text. 3, 4 together. Okay. So what was the last question I mentioned? Let's see.
Mailbox.
We were discussing the 4th question, that is the mailbox example.
Lost even my question. Where are the questions? Okay, here. Then 13 to 16, we read yesterday or day before yesterday, I forgot. One was summarize the transcendental quality of pure devotee in the purport of verses 13 to 14.
Prabhu, we should discuss verse 8 to 12 now. When the questions of verse 8 to 12.
But this question, to answer that if they ask you a question, to summarize the transcendental quality of a pure devotee, 8 to 12 is the gradation, but the qualification of a pure devotee is in the 13 to 14. I mean, they are together. Like a pure devotee is one who is never disturbed by any circumstances, Prabhupada writes, never envious, never become even his own enemy's enemy. Wow, that's very heavy. I also probably did it, I don't remember. He's always calm, quiet, patient. He's not attached to the material body because he does not identify with the body. Like somebody insulted one time in the business, Indians, business people, they are like cheater. And I was thinking like, I'm not Indian, I'm a spirit soul. But Prabhu and mothers, I tell you, it bothered me for months. Even though I know that I'm not at this body, but I was born in India, just because that person said Indian businessman cheater, it affected me, believe me. But eventually it disappeared. I still remember it, but it doesn't affect me anymore. But it was there. It's very hard because I was low class. So finally, he is fully situated in thinking of the Lord. So these are the quality. You can put as many you want from that purport. Question may come, what is the disposition of a devotee towards enemies and towards suffering? Anybody remembers? I think Ramshem Prabhu read that.
Yeah, being we have to be engaged in the Krishna service, in doing the devotional services, and to his devotees with a direct relationship, and we have to be serving the Krishna and follow the footsteps. Whatever way we can please Krishna by even taking prasadam, giving prasadam, offering prasadam.
No, that is true. But here the question is very specific. How what is the disposition of a devotee towards enemies?
Okay.
You
Prabhu,
read
he
it.
thinks like
Whatever
enemies
You read
because
it.
of my past deeds.
Yes, very good. Who said this? Mother Priyanka. Very good. That you should think, due to my past deed, this person is now acting as enemy. Therefore, it is better to take it than to retaliate. So you tolerate. These are key points because this is applicable. We apply in our life. The question may come also, analyze and compare your own state of consciousness in the light of the consciousness of a pure devotee described in 13 and 14. That you have to do yourself. All this quality that I mentioned before, you remember, because separate question. One is says, they're never disturbed in any circumstance, never nervous, never become even his own enemy's enemy. He's always calm, quiet, patient. He's not attached to the material body. He's free from false ego. He's tolerant, satisfied by whatever comes by the grace of the Lord. He's always joyful. He's a perfect mystic. Now you relate to your life, those qualities. You may get both questions. I don't know you'll get the question. I'm not even supposed to tell you, but anyway, it doesn't matter. You already got this. So you relate, okay, yeah, but it's hard for me. Be honest. I think teacher will be happy if you are honest. What the quality of pure devotee? The question will come like, analyze and compare your own state of consciousness in the light of the consciousness of a pure devotee described in 13:14. So be introspective and write, honestly, like how you deal, how you want to improve, that is important. Not that you have to show you are a pure devotee. Maybe you all are pure devotee, I don't know, so please forgive me. I don't mean judging you all. Then question may come, compare the attitude of a materialist with that of a devotee. I'm not supposed to tell you, but text 15 has it. The devotee is equiposed in every situation, but a materialist becomes happy when he gets something, sad or envious when someone else gets something. You never heard? You know how I know it? Because I was in that category. I used to be envy if somebody is better than me. So I laugh it like now, how horrible it is. I had that bad quality, so I never forget this. Then question may come, list 10 qualities of a pure devotee. It's the same from 13:14, you have to list those qualities. Or we just read all these Shame Priya. Why? You remember we discussed those? You just list those. Something, you know how you memorize it? Well, you probably know it. Something you memorize when you relate to your life. That's the only way I can relate and memorize. Not memorize, but it comes. Krishna gives illumination to see it. Something how it is relate to my life. I was a lusty man. I was a greedy man. I have all this quality. How it is purifying. You reflect, you examine. Wow, this is fascinating. And this way Krishna says you can help others also. They can come out also. And I heard many devotees' own experience, how they came out. Such a fascinating. Question may come 17 to 20. How does a devotee in Krishna consciousness movement fulfill the conditions set by verse 12.17? How is the devotee patient, silent, detached, and fixed? Prabhupada gives it. Because it's transcendental to artificial fame. It's not a fame. Ultimately, real devotee don't want fame. But guess what happened to the fame? Fame is chasing after pure devotee. It's never possible they can be without fame. But they are not after fame. They are going away, like Madhavendra Puri, Mahaprabhu says. Madhavendra Puri is running away from fame. He left that market. Why? Because in the morning everybody will know, oh my God, Krishna stole kheer for him. Wow, where is he? But they could not even find him. He left that night just by thinking that. In the morning everybody will come to know. They will touch feet and they will roll on the ground. They will cry. They will probably like all kinds of. He was afraid, so he left. So like that. This is fame. Okay. The question may also come, comment on silent meditation. Nirguna Prabhu going to write a big article about it. I'm just kidding, Prabhu. Mauna, practiced by Impersonalists, because I love Nirguna Prabhu too. The silence meditation of Mauna is only beneficial when one does not have the chance to associate with a pure devotee. When with a pure devotee, then one should talk freely about the Lord with him. And more we talk about Krishna, that is real silence, Mauna. And also the question may come, this is the last question. What is the evidence that Bhakti is the best process of self-realization? That is the last verse we just read. You can find there. So my question is, this classroom, or compare this class, this world is also a classroom for your life. Wherever you are, can you see that as a classroom? Try to see it. Because some religious people have a negative fear. I'm not saying you have. Some people have negative fear-centered conception of God. God as a judge waiting to catch. Anybody ever went to courtroom? I went twice with my business. And the good thing is I won both cases. So that was a good part. But I'm not saying that losing also is bad. But I didn't lose, so I don't know the experience. Probably I would be crying, but I don't remember because I didn't lose. I won both times. Judge was very nice. And so where people think in the court generally, constantly they try for their actions, they are brought in front of the judge. Bhagavad Gita, these teachings offers a much more positive, uplifting understanding. Krishna is not a judge, but a guide. Can you remember that? We just read in this 12th chapter. Is Krishna as a judge or a guide? Who is going to answer?
His guide.
Thank you. Thank you. We should not, that's okay. Other religion, they see it. But Krishna in Bhagavad Gita does not say, I am going to judge you.
No,
Hey, buddy, what do you teach?
Bhagavad Gita for our life.
He's a lover. He actually guides us. He's not sitting above us. Guess where he's sitting? Sitting above means looking down. You'll go to court. I don't know if you ever went to. Maybe you don't have to go to court to look at it. But in the Googles, maybe they have. In the court, generally judge sitting the highest seat. And judge look down. I thought about it many times. Judge, he looks down, looking down in judgment. But he's sitting, Krishna is not sitting, looking down in judgment, but he's sitting right next to you on the same couch or same whatever the place you are sitting, floor. In your own heart. This is what 15:15 we read, right? So to help us make right choice, why is he sitting there? Why Krishna sitting in the heart? to guide us to make right choice. He mentors. Sometimes even the spouse, don't take it, I mean, I'm not promoting that, but if you are married, try to see your spouse as a mentor. Krishna sent this person in your life to guide you also. If you have a false ego, he or she will smash it. But you may take it wrong way. Why is mean to me, or why she is mean to, Are Baba, Krishna sent it just to put you, like humble you. Take it positive. It works very good. So Krishna, he mentors us, not just internally, also externally. Through how is externally mentoring us? Somebody please.
Through Guru and devotees.
Hey Baba, right now Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, we can, how can you have to connect it all the time. He's guiding us. What we're doing here, Krishna is guiding us. It's not me speaking. Well, my mouth is used. Krishna reminds. I take the credit that I'm speaking. That will be actually lying and denying. 15:15. What did Krishna say? Did say Pran Govind remembers is coming from his heart? No. He says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta matta smriti jnana apahanan. From me, I remind him what to speak. And if I don't give that credit, I'm a liar. I must be punished. So we have to see like this. With this understanding that Krishna is a mentor, we see this world as a classroom, wherever you are, in your family, or I just want you to think like this. The Zoom class will end with me, but take it as like your classroom forever, whole existence in material world. But you should also not think something. What did I say? Think as a classroom, but don't think another room. What is that other room? Courtroom, where judge is looking down to punish you in the judgment. So think like your life right now is a classroom where Krishna is a mentor, is a friend, is a beloved, not as a judge going to punish you or something. So like that, it will be nice. So no doubt the law of karma exists, gives us consequence of our actions. You'll go through, I'm sure each of us will go through some. But still its purpose, indeed the world's purpose is not punitive, but educative, to push us towards greater spiritual awareness. By this Bhagavad Gita educational vision, we see worldly temptation positively as growth opportunity. Believe me, there was a time I was in so danger, I was like kneel down and pray and pray. I wish I should not say that, but I would have that kind of feeling, because those prayers are so purifying. I could not see it at that time. After a few years, I see those impressions disappear. So sometime when challenges come, please, I'm begging mothers and Prabhus, take advantage of it. Go to Krishna with that intense feeling when outside trouble comes. Take up as an opportunity, growth opportunity. Of course, to grow, we need to abstain from them also. So choose Krishna instead. But such a choice becomes much easier when we see temptation educationally as a wrong option in a multiple choice exam. One day I was talking about, I hope you remember. By rejecting each wrong option, students move closer to the right option, and the marks that will promote them to higher class. Similarly, we see temptation as an opportunity to show Krishna our desire for him, and we move closer to him. So challenges is good in that sense. That's what Mother Kunti's, I understood her from her prayers. Moreover, while turning away from temptation, tempting object, we can see their attractiveness positively, not as a deception meant to entrap us, but as a pointer to Krishna's all attractiveness. So after all, they manifest spark of his splendor. If you remember 1041, Jajjat Vibhuti Mat Sattam Srimat Urjitam. So what is the final line? Understanding? The classroom view reveals the world to be rich with opportunity to remember and choose who?
Krishna.
Thank you. To choose Krishna. It's an opportunity to remember him. Whether it's good or bad, doesn't matter. Every moment you can remember Krishna. Do not reject the material world. I'm going to hammer it again. Love Krishna in the world, with the world, through the world, thereby evolving towards eternal love for him. Prabhus and mothers, Krishnas are nearest to you. Can you make him dearest? That's all. The whole journey, Bhakti, this 12th chapter is nothing but establishing that Krishna is nearest to you. What should we do? Make him dearest. That's all. Then your journey is over. Okay, I'll end here. It is 12. Good. Anyone has any reflection? Any other?
I have many questions, but again, I don't want to. I want others. If others have, they can ask before me. And I have two questions. I hope you can answer. I know that one for sure you can answer. Second, I don't know. Thank you for your kind words. You would, so if nobody say, I will say. You said, it said Yasmano Dijatelo Kolo Sayat. I was just wondering.
Prabhu,
Yes,
wait, you have to speak little slow. I cannot understand. What you're saying again?
You said chapter 12:15 says Yasman odvijate loko, lokan odvijate sayat. If one should be free from worries, but as devotees, we have so many worries that we consider them part of our devotion. Like if we look in Facebook, we see the first thing before you join. You're not so worried about these things. Of course, you're not pure and you're suffering because you're in Tamagun. But then when you join, you kind of put to yourself the worry of the cows. And for instance, I'm not saying that I'm adopting worries. I believe in the verse that we should get rid of worries. And even if it's the cow is being killed, then we should not get it distract us and disturb us. But still, if you can say some words about this worries that we should not be worried.
Krishna.
Be disturbed. Be put into.
There is so much thing can be said, but I think I'll just escape from it by saying something interesting. I remember what Srila Prabhupada told to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Tamal Krishna Maharaj one time came to Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada, I thought becoming devotee means no more anxiety, no more worry. All things disappear. But now with this management, I'm like, I don't even have time to do anything else. Prabhupada said, congratulations. I was like, what? What do you mean congratulations? I'm complaining that I'm anxiety worry. Prabhupada said, now Maya has no room to enter in your life. Because you are so busy, trapped with worry, anxiety, how to make Krishna consciousness world, how to give Krishna consciousness to others, how every person comes to temple, get an impression of Krishna, and there is not enough money to serve the devotees. So you have so much anxiety, worry. Then where is the room for Maya to enter? Because you are worried about Krishna. Then Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, but I think it's too much, Prabhupada. Why not we spread it into 3 lives? Anybody heard that discussion? It's so loving. He said, why not we make it into 3 lives instead of 1 life, so much pressure? Prabhupada says, no. Make it 1 life. And then next part, I like it. He said, I promise you, even if you're lacking to finish your entire sadhana to awaken bhava, even if you're lacking of any sadhana, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will come personally to fulfill that lacking and take you back home, back to Godhead. Give this 1 life. Take all these anxiety, worries. Then Prabhupada said, very nice, which answer your question. All the material anxiety, worry will disappear. I agree with this cow killing and all this. I mean, nothing we can stop others, but we can try to make them devotee and give some education. But I think I love this conclusion that Prabhupada gave to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. More we take the anxiety for Krishna Seva, it will replace all our anxiety of the material world. Otherwise, material worry, anxiety will never stop. Because that's what material world made of. So that's a short way. And one day we can talk more. Nirguna Prabhu, you have my WhatsApp now. You can just call me or text me first before you call.
So that means I should not ask the second question. That might sound really intelligent.
What is the second question? Is it a long or short?
No, it's about, like it says, a devotee is not worried about residence. So I say, yes, it should be like that. You shouldn't worry about residence, for sure. Forget everything. Just focus on Krishna. But kind of reminds me that even Bhagavad, I think Canto 2 or 1 explains how a person, he doesn't need a home, he doesn't need a pillar because he can sleep on his hand, he doesn't need a home because he can sleep in a cave, he doesn't need to buy clothes because he can pick them up at the station where people dump their old clothes. And I really took a serious step in my life, and I ended up trying to live like that, and it was really a hellish experience because there are no caves, and if there is a cave, it's full of mosquitoes, and it's very cold, and the clothes are disgusting. You don't want to wear. I couldn't wear these clothes, and you need a house. You need first place to cook prasad. You need. So I was like wondering a little.
Very nice. Very nice question, Prabhu. So let me address you a little bit. This is very nice. I understand. This is possible. Many devotee things like that. But I would say, Srila Prabhupada says, in Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, he said this Krishna consciousness movement is directly under the supervision of Rupa Goswami. So let's see what Rupa Goswami says about that part of Bhagavatam. What you have explained, that you don't need a pillow, you put an armlet like a sannyasi, the whole sky is your house in a roof. So you really don't need, I mean, it's a big house. Can you imagine the sky is the roof? It's wonderful. But don't tell this to your wife if you are married. This is not practical, and she's not going to buy with that. And neither any acharya said that. So Rupa Goswami Pad says, very nice. He says, Jukta Vairagya. What is Jukta Vairagya? Anasaktasya Vishayam Jataraham Upajunjata. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Juktam Vairagya Uchate. And every acharyas and every teacher in our parampara says that no, Bhagavatam said many things that is true, but you have to be very practical. First of all, try to see yourself where you are. Do you know a madman who leaves his home, wanders in the street, collecting piece of paper and cloth? We are focused in this world like that. When this madness is gone, then we'll awaken in our own home. So we have to also realize where our material situation is. Now, Rupa Goswami very nicely, he gave something very secret. I want everybody to understand. Whatever situation you have, husband, wife, house, children, leave it as it is. Do not change. Stane sthita. Keep as it is. Whatever you need material, if you have a job, keep the job. Don't quit. Did not say that. Stane sthita. Prabhupada ended Bhagavatam, introduction with that line. Stane sthita. Just leave where you are. Then what should we do? Check, you examine your heart. Because at our core, we are conscious being. To be conscious means to have emotion. This emotion cannot be washed away, Prabhus and mothers. The difference between attachment, aversion, renunciation, and devotion is based on the direction of our emotion. The life that you explain, seeing the home as a sky, as a roof, sleep on your armpit as a pillow, that is true. And you tried, I'm glad you did that too. But that is not recommended for this now. Prabhupada society, Prabhupada did not recommend just like that. It is in Bhagavatam. What Prabhupada or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Ramananda Sangbad are saying we need to do is to observe the direction of our emotion. When our emotion is towards Krishna, it is devotion. Srila Prabhupada asked that question to his guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. What is the difference of devotion between Ramananda Roy, who was enjoying like anything? He had all this opulence. He is a government officer, and King Prataprudra gave him retirement. He has a house, he has a nice food, servant. Ramananda Roy had a servant, nice food, retirement, he had everything. Rupa Goswami had everything, gave up everything. So whose devotion is higher? Prabhupada asked that question to Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. In Bhakti Vikas Maharaj's book you can read. And Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur answered, the one should think like a chaste lady, chaste mother. When husband is with her, she dresses very nicely, so the husband will be pleased. When husband is gone far away for business trip, she does not dress well, so nobody is attracted to her.